What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country and around the world that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We'll start with a major story here. We may have averted a worldwide crisis. Check this out. The last reactor at Ukraine's Zaporizhia nuclear plant has been stopped as they have finally gotten power back to it. This is currently being run by Russia. It's under Russia military control, and the power was shut down to it. And there was a lot of concern that there was going to be a nuclear meltdown here. And we've now retained power to it, and maybe have averted a nuclear crisis. This is one of the largest of its kind in Europe, larger than Chernobyl, actually. Yeah, you can see here Europe's largest nuclear power plant has been reconnected to Ukraine's electricity grid, finally. But just like, how is this not even a thing? Russia's controlling it, allowing engineers to shut down its last operational reactor in an attempt to avoid a radiation disaster as fighting rages on in the area. The six-reactor Zaporizhia plant lost its outside source of power a week ago after all its power lines were disconnected as a result of shelling. It was operating in an island mode for several days, generating electricity for crucial cooling systems from its only remaining operational reactor. It's scary stuff here, guys. Think about Chernobyl and how it affected all of Europe and hundreds of thousands of people. Nuclear operator Energoatom said one of those power lines was restored to its operational capacity late Saturday, making it possible to run the plant's safety and other systems on electricity from the power system of Ukraine. Therefore, a decision was made to shut down power on unit number 6 and transfer it to the safest state, cold shutdown, the company said in a statement. Energoatom said the risk remains high that outside power is cut again, in which case the plant would have to fire up emergency diesel generators to keep the reactors cool and prevent a nuclear meltdown yet again. The company's chief told the Associated Press on Thursday that the plant only has diesel fuel for 10 days. The plant, one of the 10 biggest atomic power stations in the world, has been occupied by Russian forces since the early stages of the war. It makes you kind of think, why are they occupying a nuclear power plant? Ukraine and Russia have blamed each other for shelling around the plant that has damaged the power lines connecting it to the grid. Energoatom renewed its appeal for Russian forces to leave the Zaporizhia plant and allow for the creation of a demilitarized zone around it. The International Atomic Energy Agency, the UN nuclear watchdog, which has 2 experts at the plant, confirmed to the Associated Press on Sunday that the external power has been restored to the plant for now. Quote, after yesterday's restoration of the power line, which connects to the plant to the switchyard of a nearby thermal power station, the operator of this plant this morning shut down its last operating reactor, which over the past week has been providing the plant with the required power after it was disconnected from the grid. It's also expected that 2 International Atomic Energy Agency staff are expected to stay at the nuclear plant on a permanent basis as mediators between Russia and Ukraine, even though this is in Ukraine. So this is a good thing because we need someone to know what's going on here and to, kind of tell us a little bit of the truth of what's going on there. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. But honestly, if this war continues to go on here for a long time, we're over 6 months now at this point. It really just smells like something major of a nuclear disaster is just kind of, it seems like it just feels like it's going to happen. It kind of feels like Russia is just kind of forcing something like this to happen. It feels like, oh, the power just mysteriously gets shut off for a whole week, and oh, we don't know how this happened. Oh, we're taking over all these power plants, these nuclear power plants, and we don't want to give them back. They're hiding military vehicles inside there, and it's we had the video here of a week ago where the Russian agent was saying. Remember, we showed the video where he said, "Oh, the bomb came and it did a 180-degree turn. It didn't come from Russia. It did a 180-degree turn and it came from Ukraine. Remember, it turned in midair. It just seems like they want something dramatic like this to happen to kind of force Ukraine to like surrender. You can let me know your thoughts here, but this is really bad because I mean Russia's not that far away, but of course it would harm Ukraine way more. I mean, because obviously 80 or 90% of it's going to be in the immediate area. Some of it drifts away, but it's just so sad. It's just imagine the devastation of what's going on of the people in Ukraine. But they have actually mounted a counter offense here recently. You can see here Ukraine's military said it took back more than 700 square miles from Russia in less than 3 days here recently. And they have a renewed vigor here that has been going very well for them recently with their most recent military aid package. So, good for them. They're literally fighting for their lives over there. Could you imagine living over there? What an absolute nightmare. They're literally dealing with bombs, and it's a literal war zone. Um, can you imagine this? I mean, look at this. There's cars and buses there and tanks. Imagine this being your daily life there. Ukraine's army said it has tripled the amount of land it has taken back from Russia's forces. Ukraine said on Sunday it has taken back 1,158 square miles compared to the 386 square miles on Thursday. So they have made a significant advance just in the last few days. As Zelensky says, Zelensky told Russians to run for their lives from Ukraine offensive in the south. Quote, if they want to survive, it's time for the Russian military to run away, go home, he says, as they're trying to defend their land. We'll see, though. We'll see. I don't think Russia's going to give up anytime soon, as Putin is just he's hell bent on not giving up. And you can let me know your thoughts here on this. Russia warns the West energy price cap will be your undoing. As the G7, including the United States, even though we don't buy oil from them, the G7 countries have announced a price cap to not buy any oil from Russia. Uh, they're going to put a price cap on it. And this is try to bring the price of oil down and to control Russia, their oil. And this is as the price of natural gas has spiked here to a 14 or 15-year high, which is what people use to heat their homes for the winter, which is coming up here soon. And that has gone up dramatically here because of Russia cutting that to Europe. And this is all intertwined here. Russia warned the West on Friday that plans to try to cap the price of Russia's oil and gas exports in retaliation for the war in Ukraine would fail and ultimately lead to the instability of the United States and Europe. The confrontation over Ukraine has prompted the European Union customers to reduce their purchases of Russian energy, while both the G7 and the EU are trying to impose a price cap on Russian oil and gas. Just before the EU announced the price cap on Russian gas on Wednesday, President Vladimir Putin threatened to sever supplies if such limits were imposed, warning the West it would freeze like the wolf's tail in a fairy tale. Because again, everybody uses natural gas in the winter to heat their homes. And it could send these natural gas prices skyrocketing and a shortage of it. The group of 7 major industrial countries want to impose an oil price cap that would deny insurance, finance, and brokering to oil cargoes priced above a yet to be set price cap on crude and 2 oil products. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman said the West did not understand how such steps would ultimately impact their own countries, which would ultimately slip up. The collective West did not understand the introduction of a cap on prices for Russian energy resources would lead to a slippery floor under its own feet. This comes as EU energy ministers met on Friday to try to find a way to protect citizens from sky high energy prices and prevent power utilities from collapsing because they literally might not have enough gas and natural gas. And this is going to be a problem. This could be for the US as well. Quote, we are in an energy war with Russia. Western attempts to punish the world's biggest producer of natural resources, ranging from oil and gas to gold, metals, coal, and timber, is not an easy task, especially when China, India, and other consumers are happy to continue buying. Russia is the world's second largest oil exporter after Saudi Arabia, the world's top natural gas exporter. This is for natural gas. Europe usually imports around 40% of its gas and 30% of its oil from Russia. So you can see how that provides a significant supply chain shortage when if you can't buy from Russia, and how much it'll cause the price of this stuff to go up if nobody can buy from Russia. If the US can't buy from Russia, if Europe can't buy from Russia, how high this will send the price of all this stuff to go up. So this is a really big deal for the US as well. This is why the war affects us as well. This is why the longer the war goes on, it affects us as well. We've recently seen natural gas prices really spike up here. We've seen gas prices come down. As you know, they've come down for over 80 days here in the US. They've slowed down. They've slowed to a trickle here. They're coming down about a penny per day or so right now. But the natural gas prices, which people use to heat your homes in the winter, and it's a little bit more location based. If you're in Florida or Texas, you won't be heating your home as much. But if you're anywhere in the mid to northern states, you heat your homes a lot more. And if you use natural gas, you could be in for a very expensive winter. A very expensive winter. When we get closer to those months, I'll tell you how you might be able to get heating assistance. As we get closer to the winter, a lot of states get funding and they roll out heating assistance programs that could provide you hundreds or thousands of dollars of heating assistance as states get more money. We'll go over that here on our channel. A lot of you guys have probably gotten it in the past here. So I'll keep you up to date on that. But the problem with this right now is that the price of natural gas has already doubled or more than doubled in price just in the last like 6 months or so. So if we just kind of compare that to relative costs, your gas bill could be double. So it's gonna be rough. And this is without us buying any Russian gas at all. It's just the cost of the gas is it's a global market. So you can kind of relate this to gas at the pump. Gas is sold worldwide, whether it's gasoline, whether it's diesel, or if it's natural gas. It's a kind of a global thing. It's just like the price of grain, the price of bread, the price of gold, the price of silver. We all kind of know that this stuff fluctuates, and it's kind of sold on a global basis. So the price of gold in the US is similar to the price of gold sold in China or in India or in Europe. It's all kind of the same. I mean, yeah, it might be euros there and it might be the dollars here, but it's all kind of equivalent if you convert it. Okay, it's kind of equivalent. Okay, and it's the same thing with gas. So if you kind of convert the price of gas in Europe, um and again, it fluctuates per country because gas is a little different because they have taxes and stuff. Each country has different, just like states have, you can see the price of gas is different in Ohio versus Texas, California, because there's different state taxes and stuff like that. So gas isn't always necessarily the best analogy there. But natural gas is kind of the same thing a little bit because um, we're seeing it's traded. So you look at the price. Natural gas is kind of it's kind of a price per barrel a little bit, but we see this. It's already doubled in price. Okay, and a lot of this is because of. I hate to say it. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but it's because of the war, and not so much the war itself, but also because of the issue of the war and that people don't want to buy from Russia. So the entire European Union, which is like no, NATO's 30 countries, but the whole entire European Union and NATO, so it's over 30 countries there, don't want to buy natural gas and oil from Russia, or they're weaning off it. Okay, so this has caused a significant supply chain shortage. Okay, and not only that, but Russia on the other side of the coin has kind of done the same back to them. They're basically saying, "Oh, you don't want to buy oil from us? Well, we'll play the same game. We'll shut the oil off from you." And I think we just kind of read a quote there from Putin says, "You'll freeze in winter. We'll cut the oil off from you." So they're kind of playing the game back because they're actually in control of the oil and gas. So they'll say, "You'll freeze in winter. We'll shut the oil off from you," because Putin doesn't care. He's in control of the oil. He's a multi-billionaire. He don't care. I mean, in a way he does, but in a way he doesn't. So, because more money for him fuels his war machine, fuels his country. But it's kind of a fine line. It's just like OPEC, like they lower production, but they don't want to lower too much because the more they sell, the more they make, but they lower production because they want oil prices to stay high. So they find that fine line in there, and same with Russia. So he's got a very mental game to play there of, does he cut off Europe completely because they're going to cut themselves off anyways, and he just sells to the other people like China and India and Iran and countries like that. So, can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date, but nonetheless, whether we like it or not, this does affect gas prices globally. Gas, diesel, oil, natural gas, it's affecting the prices, whether we want to hear it or not. It's like the pandemic. It's like, oh, we want the virus to be gone, but it doesn't mean the virus is gone. It's like saying the flu virus. We want the flu virus to go away too. It doesn't mean the flu virus is going to go away. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. Make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. I'll keep you up to date. It's completely free to do so. And remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to see my new video on September 13th, a major date coming out here that you'll need to watch here if you haven't seen this video. Really big date, and it also includes for Social Security recipients as well. So click on that video next if you haven't seen that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.